I had someone comment prior asking me to make a budget lightning orb sorceress build guide, one within reason both regarding the character level as well as the gear expectations. And being that I'm always open to suggestions from viewers, I wanted to give this fun hybrid build a try, and it turned out much better than I expected.
In today's video, I'm going to go over the build for
the budget hybrid lightning orb sorceress, of whom is very fast, does good damage for the gear that she has, and has a lot of potential in regards to farming, leveling up, and adding even more elemental damage.
I'm going to go over the attributes, the skill tree, the gear for my character and my mercenary, and afterwards I'm going to show you guys some gameplay so you could see this build in action. But do keep in mind that when it comes to this build, there are different ways you can be able to gear the character depending on your needs, whether you're trying to go for maximum DPS, you're trying to do a magic find character, or a hybrid of the two. Just keep in mind when it comes to looking at the gear choices that I'm going to be choosing, that you can choose alternative gear depending on the demand that you have for your build. Now let's go ahead and get into the video.
For the attributes, we have enough points into strength to be able to equip the gear, and all the remaining points go into vitality. For the skill trees, starting with the cold spells, I went ahead and maxed out Frozen Orb, as it's not only a great way to slow things down and to provide some crowd control, but it's also the skill that I'm going to be using when fighting against anything that's lightning immune. I also put 1 point into Cold Mastery to be able to reduce my enemy cold resistance, and I also put 1 point into Frozen Armor as it's a great 1-point wonder skill. Moving on to the lightning spells, I put 1 point into Static Field, 1 point into Telekinesis, 1 point into Teleport to move around easier, and this is an option, but you can put 1 point into Energy Shield. It's not mandatory for this build, but I wanted to have it as an option for anyone that wanted to use it. The main skill that I'm going to use to deal damage is going to be Lightning, so I went ahead and maxed it out. I also went ahead and maxed out Lightning Mastery to be able to increase my lightning damage, and I also put the remaining points for this build in Chain Lightning, as it's not only a great way to be able to deal damage, but it's also a synergy for lightning. Lastly, for the fire spells, I went ahead and put 1 point into Warmth as it's also a great 1-point wonder skill. Something to remember about this build is that she is only at level 75, so there's a lot left to be desired, especially considering this is a hybrid build with different ways to distribute the skill points depending on the priorities within the build.
Now for the gear, when it comes to the concept of a budget build, keep in mind that the items being shown are based on if they are, or sometimes aren't, optimal for the build, despite the item's rarity. There's a reason that so many set and unique items, and even some being treasure class 87 items, never see the light of day aside from Grayling, while some magic and rare items are more optimal and ideal for a build, and sometimes even become mandatory. And on items with a variety of stats that can roll, remember that this is all based on RNG or random number generation, or even better, just dumb luck for certain items to drop, as well as how they can roll.
For the helm, she has a peasant crown socketed with the perfect topaz. This has plus to skills, vitality, energy, and magic find. The amulet is an all resistance magic find amulet. The armor is stealth for the faster cast rate. The weapon is spirit rune word paired with the spirit shield. These both have plus to skills, faster cast rate, vitality, mana, and with the shield, there's also cold, lightning, and poison resistance. The boots are war travelers for magic find. The first ring is a Nagel ring for magic find. The belt is gold wrap for magic find. The second ring is a dual resistance ring. The gloves are mage fist for the plus to fire skills and faster cast rate. On switch, I have the blade of Alibaba for magic find. And in the inventory is the cube, both tomes, and I wanted to include all of the necessary plus 11 to a certain resistance small charms to be able to bring her resistances into the positive. This way, if any of you guys didn't want to use anything like treachery to be able to supplement for her resistances, as well as additional damage reduction, you'd be able to know what it would take as far as the plus to 11 for a certain resistance to be able to bring her into the positive. For the additional stats, on the main hand, she has 163% to magic find, which is decent for a budget build, but this is where the blade of Alibaba kicks in, because switching over, she now has 258% to magic find, which is great for anyone that decides to mode trick Mephisto, or to be able to switch over last second before killing any of the champions and boss packs to be able to increase the chances of better items being able to drop. Additionally, she also has 115% to faster cast rate. She also has 338% boost to lightning skill damage, as well as negative 45% to enemy cold resistance. For the Mercenary, he is a crucial part of being able to make this build work successfully. Because he is the prayer mercenary, he also is using a cure helm, treachery for the body armor to proc fade and have additional damage reduction, but what helps tie this all together is the insight for the meditation aura, as the meditation skill, the cleansing skill, and the prayer skill all synergize one another to be able to increase our regeneration of our health and her mana to be able to boost hers and the mercenary survivability.
Now that we've discussed the attributes, the skill trees, the gear for my character and my mercenary, let's go ahead and check out this build in action to see how well it actually plays out. With the gameplay, for anyone who'd be curious as to which player settings I'm using for my build guides, the past, presently on screen, and in the future, down in the bottom left corner is what the example gameplay being shown is currently at.
This build is able to handle multiple different areas of the game, and that's including without the use of a Sunder Charm, as if one of the types of damage can't be dealt because of an immunity, the other source of elemental damage can help supplement it without it being a big issue regarding her clear speed. As you watch the gameplay, keep an eye on the health of my character and the Mercenary, as his setup with synergizing prayer, meditation, and cleansing truly is a lifesaver, literally, by helping to keep our health and my mana regenerating constantly. This is also why I can teleport for long periods of time without the need of a mana potion. Despite her resistances being as low as they are, both in regards for a budget build, but also for being in hell difficulty. So long as you play this build safely from a distance, there's not a lot to worry about in regards to survivability. For those who would be rune farming with this build, aside from going to the Countess, the Arcane Sanctuary is an underrated place to find runes, and this build handles it quite well. One of the drawbacks of this build is that lightning has the greatest range in regards to damage, being from literally 1 to being one of the highest damage sources in the game. This build would depend on good RNG to get a decent average for your min and max damage to both add to your clear speed and keep your survivability high. This is why I would focus at times on using Frozen Orb more, as cold spells have a better, tighter range for damage, as well as slow enemies down. I really enjoyed this build. It is a great hybrid setup, and I wanted to showcase it with quite the budget focused setup, so if you enjoyed how it plays and have better gear, it'll only get better for you in every regard from this point forward. I do have another hybrid Sorceress setup on this channel. It's a Hydra Orb build, and I have a budgeted version, as well as an Endgame one as well. If you wanted to check them out for yourself, especially if you prefer fire over lightning, make sure to check out this video's description. I'll have both build guide videos linked there for you to watch later on. I hope you'll enjoy those 2 build guide videos as well.
And that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and were able to see if this build would be something that you would be interested in going into the future, and if anything, at least just enjoyed the video. If you like this kind of content, want to see more, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification to be notified whenever a new video comes out.
Come on. Come on. Come on, man. There you are. There you are.
And if you like this video, please let me know by leaving a like. It really is appreciated to be able to help my channel to grow. And if you want to see more of my Diablo 2 Resurrected content, make sure to click the card in the corner up above to check out my Diablo 2 Resurrected playlist with a lot of videos already in it, with a lot more coming in the very near future. Other than that, I hope you guys are staying safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.